I want slow-mo. Why Grandpa's all depressed because my sailboat will never be finished. And he's like, your son dropped it. I don't know what to tell you.
Okay, so we're gonna pick it up and then just
Set it
lay it down on the.
and try and keep the weight as much off of it as you can.
Yeah, we're gonna set it on the foam, right?
Yep. Am I on it? Or can you see as much as I can see?
Yep, I can see as much as you can see.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, we're not on it.
Okay, let's
Pick it up.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Are you going or what?
Do you want to shimmy it so we can kind of? I can hold the boat. Yeah.
What are you gonna grab next?
Yeah. I think I'm gonna go. That's probably yeah. That's probably not. I think we're learning.
Let's pick it. That wasn't so bad.
It's not as bad as I remember. We almost lost it twice. Oh, that looks like a boat. Okay, we are at the bow of the boat here, and I ran into a decision I had to make, and I wanted to kind of talk about it with you guys to kind of explain my thought process. In the original design of the boat, there is a hatch that goes right here. And we cut the holes for the hatch, and everything's ready to go, but there's a critical detail that still needed to be worked out, which I'm running into now that I'm cutting the fiberglass for the top deck. And that is, how do you affix the hatch onto the deck that doesn't get water in here? Because obviously you can draw a square on a picture and be like, oh, that's a hatch. But there's a detail about how that thing fits on here and what's keeping it from flying off or disappearing. You know, when you're trailering it down the road or something. And so the original detail that the plan was to create a lip within the fiberglass. So you would take a piece of wood or something like this, you would attach it to the deck with some glue, and then you would fiberglass the deck around it, and what that would do is create a lip. And this lip, that actually looks pretty nice. This lip that's integral to the hull, that's part of the boat, keeps water that's on the deck, if it's raining or if you hit a wave or something, it keeps water out of that hole because it's running along the fiberglass of the deck. It hits this lip and it just keeps on going. What this lip also does is when you create the hatch, it sits on the outside of that lip, so it can't move around, it can't slide all over the place because it's captured by this lip that's fiberglassed into the hull. And so that was the original plan, but when I was about to get ready to make the frame to do this, I was like, well, that's gonna be a pretty hard detail to keep through the layers of glass that are gonna be piled up here. So the plan is right now to do a layer of matte that runs to the absolute edge for strength, and then to do a layer of cloth, which covers the entire thing and wraps the edge to seal the whole bow of the boat. And so that's going to be a pretty tough detail to keep, because when you're using fiberglass mat or fiberglass cloth, it doesn't want to take right angles. We've been able to do it in a couple of locations with a lot of work and a lot of kind of massaging into place, but nothing this small. We're trying to wrap like a quarter of an inch by a quarter of an inch square to kind of come up and come down. So I was kind of thinking and working out a couple of different details, and I think I found one that I'm going to like better. So I'm gonna move the camera, so we'll kick it over here. So this is the detail. So we have a couple of options. We have this one, which is the original plan. So that one has the deck material plus the wooden lip material. And then you have a layer of fiberglass cloth, which means to take that right angle, and that right angle down. Then you would have a layer of fiberglass cloth that would have to take that right angle, and down. So this is what I mean, that it's gonna be pretty hard to keep that detail because you're making all these curves with these materials that don't wanna make these curves. So, and also, it's not gonna be pretty. There's something just about that detail that might have air bubbles in it. You might have to patch it. You might have to really work it to get it the way you want. So I was thinking, well, is there a way I could maybe build up? So you'd put the deck on and your mat, your cloth, and then on top of it, I would build like a mound of like fairing compound, probably not fairing compound, but this, you've seen us use this putty stuff in the past, this epoxy putty to kind of build that lip. Because what that lip is doing, this is the hatch that comes up and gets captured by that lip. And then water can't go inside because it hits this lip, and if it gets underneath, it hits the second lip, and then it comes back out. So that is the detail that I'm trying to design for, and this is what I think I'm going to do instead. So this is option 2. And option 2 is the same detail. It's the deck and the hatch. If this is, I guess I didn't even explain this. This is a section cut through the boat. So the bow right now, right here. Whoop. So we're looking at that detail. So if I would like to cut it crossways across this, that's what we're looking at. Yeah, so this is that deck material. So what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna run, like I have right now, I'm gonna run my fiberglass mat down. I'm gonna run my fiberglass cloth down, trim this excess, so that's gonna be a really clean line through here. It's gonna make that nice, it's gonna make that transition really nice. It's gonna be pretty forgiving because you're only making 190 degree, and we can do that. And then it's gonna be woodwork. It's not gonna be fiberglass, it's gonna be woodwork. So on top of all of this, I'm going to build in cross section something that looks like this. This is a piece of wood that has a notch in it. And then I'm gonna seal, I'm gonna use marine adhesive and seal that. And I'm also gonna put a stainless steel screw through and a backing plate on the other side of the deck to sandwich this whole thing together. In this detail, what this looks like is it's just a piece of wood that's gonna look like a picture frame. So this is the deck. So this is that piece of wood. And then this is gonna be a countersunk stainless steel screw. Just gonna extract construction adhesive. This is the inside, this is the hatch. And then the actually hatch cover is going to sit on top of it. And that's gonna be the hatch. So it's the same detail. It's just it's a lot more trimmed out. It's a lot more elegant, at least in my opinion, because it's more hardware and it's more woodwork than it is fiberglass kind of built up and like bent. And I don't know, there's something to be said about the way that this boat is being assembled, and it's very much, it's being built in a typically classic way. There's not a lot of, I guess, form work, I suppose, is the definition. All of the kind of elegant things about it are made of wood. And so I want to continue that kind of language and tradition going on. So this is the detail I'm going to go with. And not only that, but it also helps me keep going right now, because instead of having to stop and mess around with this and really putz around with making this detail, I can just run these big pieces of fiberglass on the deck and just glass them all in, and then come back later and really fine tune. Yeah, and it's just gonna be a better detail overall, because this is gonna be paint that runs all the way in. And so this is just gonna be a really crisp line right there where this attaches to the deck, and it'll just look really nice. And this is gonna be the detail that these wings are gonna make as well as they come through. So yeah, a little bit of a change of plans, but that is the fun part. So I wanted to stop and kind of talk about, you know, why I'm not doing it this way and my thought process and continuing, because this is the boat, right? This is the, this has been the process, is this constant evolution and this changing of ideas as problems arise and things come into clarity. So yeah, we're gonna keep moving. Let's keep going.